It's a brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are. And like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless believers.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. This is Gail of Gaia, and this is Free Range, where we graze on wild ideas, and we have wonderful guests. And my wonderful guest today is a frequent favorite of many people. And so let me bring Mr. Drake Bailey on.
Ooh, there I be.
There he is. How you doing, Drake? What you been up to?
Good. I've had a static problem with my telephone, and it got to the point where I actually got funkied out. The phone would not operate more than about 2 or 3 minutes, and finally ended up cutting me off in the middle of my show on Saturday. So I about lost my mind, and I told the phone company what they could do with themselves, among other things. Anyway, I got a hold of a lady today, scheduled me for Wednesday to get it fixed, and the repairs that are needed are going to take place, and that should fix it. We'll see.
Well, isn't that interesting? I think we're getting hit by different forms of attacks in whether it's communication or whatever. Because what happened to me today, I was trying to make a copy of some information that I had, and my printer all of a sudden won't work. It was working fine yesterday. And I had happened to call a guy and gave him remote access for a minute about this. And I think that he actually did something, because then he wanted me to buy 5 years of remote help. And then I said, I can't afford that. I can't even afford 1 year. You know, I'm even having trouble with a little 1 month right now until things get better.
The thing about the Saturday show is I was going to out some stuff, and I didn't get to do that. And the reason I didn't get to do that was because every time I started talking, okay, I'd get something good going in terms of an idea, the static would increase. It would clunk, bang, and whatnot, and then I'd get dial tone. I went through that about 6 times, and then I said, "The heck with it." So,
well, if you didn't get to say it on your Saturday show, why don't you go ahead and tell us what you got?
Well, I was planning to do it here. You sent me a video in Skype that had a list of the perps that have been doing all the wonderful things to everybody. And that was pretty cool. But the thing that gets me the most is I watch news closely. Now, by watching news closely, I don't mean that I'm in bed with Fox News or anything. It means that I watch what they say and what they present closely enough to see whether or not there's something funky in there. And lo and behold,
oh no, you found something funky.
I found several little funky things in there that I think are pretty neat. The first is everybody knows about the Bidens getting money. Well,
how come they're not arrested?
No, well, wait a minute. They have the documentation from banks, offshore accounts, and the whole bit. And who, what, when, where, and the why is obvious. I mean, but what's interesting is that I did get that mentioned. I didn't get to expand on it, but the uh, uh, thing that's going on right now that everybody should be watching or thinking about is to see whether or not they get a uh, concise mention of these things I'm talking about on the mainstream media. They'll mention it once and then not mention it again. It'd be just, um, and I think it's funny that every time I tried to talk on my show, um, they interrupted with that static routine. Well, that's going to be fixed, boys and girls, all you guys out there that are playing around. Um, we got enough coming that it should keep the world busy, and I mean all the busybodies will have more than what they can handle. And basically, what it deals with is you got to um, look at these things in reality. And why, when I say reality, I hear something, I go and check with some people I've got that can validate or, that's horse hockey or whatever the deal might be. And in this case, the what is to happen? I have confirmation of what is to happen, just not when, as in no dates. Now, we've been told all kind of different times, and the world's going to come to an end, and the world's made of snow and it's melting, and we're in trouble, kind of whatever. But yeah, I finished the first part of the show. By September, you're looking at an election being set, and that's for president. And the reason being that it'll take uh, until the end of August to get the president administration out. They've already got the plans. It's already in motion. They're going to remove them now.
It's about time.
Well, here's the other part. Um, the election then for president will take place in November. Bear that in mind. And I ain't gonna give you any kind of a day or anything because nobody gave me one.
What kind of vote? What is this going to be the Republic, or is this going to be a continuation of the
No,
corporate US?
this is going to be an honest election. Okay,
Well, not just honest. I mean, I want to go
you're
past
going
that.
to
Is what
hear
I'm
about
saying.
it from the Supreme Court, among other things. Now, the Supreme Court to date, and I don't mean as of today, but as of about a week and a half or so ago, um, didn't have any enforcement capabilities. They can make an edict and say this is unconstitutional, that's wrong, or whatever. Now they have the United States Marine Corps playing policeman and
Ooh.
all kinds of thingies I've been hearing about, such as pictures and went, oh, there I am. Am I all by myself?
I don't know
No,
what
there
happened.
you was.
I really don't. I don't know what happened. They just
Now
did.
they
You
like
can-
us so much that they can't get to me. I got my computers are rock solid now.
Mine aren't. I wish they were, and I can't afford to have somebody do that. It's just too much. But anyway, it's okay.
I'll see if I can hook you up. The left, Marxists and nasties, are about to find out about a Godfather deal. That's when they cut me off. They didn't want me to elucidate on that. Oh, they were scared to death. Um, Basically, what it amounts to is we are going to be put in a position where we determine what is and what is not to be. And I mean that all the way around. Most of the things everybody is familiar with and knows, according to the Constitution, according to law, and all those mothers that ignore it, are in a heap of trouble. specifically DOJ.
Yeah, that should be. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
well, they're planning to do a number on the DOJ. Um, there are several other things going on that I have heard about, and what's nice about it is that I went and I got confirmation from 4 or 5 people, so it's got to be something that's real.
Cool.
Now,
Confirmation of what?
do you remember the Bundy Ranch?
Oh yeah.
You
Very
remember Pete Santilli?
I a little bit, yeah.
Okay, and you're familiar with Mike Slidell,
Oh, of course.
Mr.
Yeah.
Slippers.
Mr.
Okay.
Pillow. My pillow guy.
Well, the,
He
the
might
neat
make
thing
slippers
about
too, though.
the neat thing about this is that Pete, I know of him well enough to really respect the guy a lot. He got all the dirties, all the nasties, and all the information, put it on disk, and sent it to Mike Slidell, who presented it to a certain former president. And things are going to start happening here shortly because when that information got to the former president, he went, "Oh, goody!" And imagine Trump acting like a little kid on Christmas Day with big boxes full of presents, and think about what he's going to be able to do to people.
Well,
Now,
I'm happy for him because he's put up with so much shit. Excuse the
yeah,
French.
well, the crapola has gotten to the point where he decided to stomp it out.
Good.
The theft of government funds, as everybody should know, is deep, and there's quite a bit of it. They estimate the Bidens accumulated between 30 and 100 million in terms of bribes alone. Okay. Now, what's nice is they have all of the numbered accounts, the access numbers. They have frozen those accounts.
Oh, good.
Now, I'm going to add a little icing to the cake. Obama has been involved in the theft of government funds for years, and he was moving billions of dollars around trying to hide it. Well, they finally told the bank to freeze it, and they had to. They didn't have a choice because they were going to freeze the whole bank out.
Yeah, well,
we're the good guys. We don't want to. Yeah,
they
okay.
are not. That's Chase Bank, right?
Yeah,
We're talking about. Yeah, they're involved in.
So the intel that I've got in terms of that it's happening. Okay, now you got to remember, in logistics, it takes a combination of time and a great deal of effort to get things off the ground. Okay, so these things have been happening. I've been talking about them on my show just slightly for 6-8 months at least. And by happening, I mean the taking over of departments. Homeland Security, he's in trouble. DOJ, and I mean all of their lawyers are in trouble. They have been propagating stuff that is totally anti-American. So,
Well, you know what? If I may make a comment,
What's
one of
that?
the things that I see is that the Bar Association is responsible for a large portion of the problems that we have because of what they do. I mean, they're the ones that defend the pedophiles. They're the ones that they're just involved in they have much more power as a group over the people and the courts and so on than they should. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay. Did you see that private chat I put up there?
Yes, I did. Is that for the computer?
Now listen to me. Ask for McKinsey.
McKinsey?
Just ask for McGinsey. Tell them I sent you. Okay.
Okay, I'll see what happens.
Well,
Lindsay.
it should be nice for the simple fact that the company she works for has had a contract with Microsoft for 14 years. You get Microsoft security, that's who does it. And she pretty much bulletproofed my computer. I couldn't believe it. Anyway, so now you have the number and call her up, see what she got to say.
Did they help you out with remote access? Is that how they did it, or did you have to take your computer in?
What's that?
Didn't you have her do some computer repair for you?
Oh yeah. It's remote.
Oh, okay.
They use one of the safe routines and methods to do that.
Okay.
The other part of this is that I don't know if anybody noticed or pays attention much, but the movement of military equipment and personnel came to a halt. Everybody quit moving around. The reason they did was everything's in place. That should be a real nice little present all wrapped up in a pink bow for everybody. That means that the military is ready to step in as needs. Now, for all the civilians who would just love to shoot a politician where it counts the most, you can't do that unless you are told to. Now, you will be if you're important or they need you. They will call you up and they say, "Hey, we need some help. We need some people doing such and such and this and that and that. Can you do that?" And if you say yes and you can, then you're going to have a position. That's just how simple it is.
Oh my goodness, we have a special guest that I invited a while ago, and he wasn't able to come in, and he's here now. Shall we bring him on?
Yeah.
It's Paul. It's Paul.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Hey.
good old Paul. Hi, Paul.
Hi there.
Do I hear you? Oh, okay. It's gonna. Do you have sound?
Yeah, I
He's
have
in
sound
there.
out. I'm using my tablet. I was having a terrible time getting connected because my tablet, of course, stinks. My workstation is working on like 11 different projects right now. There's no way I had the resources to join. It's a good thing this tablet works. How you guys doing?
We're doing great. It's nice to have you.
Yeah.
I don't need your picture. I can tell your voice from a long ways away.
Well, that's another thing. I mean, the tablet's not working quite right. It's not letting me access the camera. So everybody knows what I look like, and I wouldn't want to crack anyone's eyeglasses or monitors just by displaying my likeness. So that's close enough.
Alrighty then.
Turn your volume up a little, Paul.
What did I miss? What did I miss? I mean, I'm so late getting to the show. I mean, I'm so sorry that it took me so long to get in here.
We were talking about some information that Mike Lindell is going to come out with on August, I think it's 16th and 17th. Didn't they say that, Drake?
What?
Wasn't it? He just disappeared.
Okay.
Anyway, he I guess he's having connection problems.
Imagine that.
Obviously. Okay. Well, why don't you just continue with what you were talking about, Drake, and we'll take it from there.
Okay. This is supposed to happen before the first half of August is over with. All of these things are supposed to start taking place. Now that is or consists of flipping the switch and turning off the central banks. Ooh.
Ooh, that should be interesting.
You're talking about the quantum banking system. It's up and ready to go. Okay, all they got to do is flip switches, and that's what we got.
And now that switches them off. Doesn't that switch the cabal off, or yes or no?
It switches them off, and then it switches the quantum system on to where it's fully active. You may individually have to get involved with that. I don't know yet, and they don't either. I asked them, and they couldn't tell me. So everybody's gets to, I don't know, play it by ear or something like that. Keep your ear to the ground. Um, and the thing that I found most interesting was that the military is going to take police actions. Now, believe it or not, I
What's that
happen to
mean?
have I happen to have the paperwork that allows them to do just exactly that. And
What
there's
does
going
that
to be
mean, Drake? What do you mean by that? That they're
what
going to act like police, like as if they were the local police, or what?
it would be the same thing as having a Marine Corps as a police department.
Ooh,
How you
that's
think
pretty
about that? I don't. First of all, some of the worst fights I ever got into were precipitated by the Marines, and oh man, nasty is what you get out of that. Now the neat part is if you're on their side, you're doing the right thing. You ain't got nothing to worry about at all.
good.
Well, one jumps up and three of them jump on him, that kind of thing. And it ain't gonna. It's a situation where they've been working on this uh, for years, um, and uh, getting everybody in the right place, the right people in the right place, doing the right things, is what this is going to be all about. Now, there will be some gunfights. There will be some deaths and some destruction. However, that's not the principal purpose of this exercise. They're going to grab them by the ankles and drag them screaming out of their offices. This is the ideal. There's
We're
a
talking politicians now.
politicians, oligarchs,
Whatever.
anybody who's causing problems.
Oh,
Everybody, all of them.
oh, that's so good.
Oh yeah, I almost get my jollies thinking about that.
Yeah, I
Um,
know. They've gotten away with so much, and they just still think they're going to continue to.
anyway, the that's part of that situation. Now, I talked to David Wilcock a long time ago, and in a long interview, I didn't get everything in there that I wanted to, but I did get the general gist of things, mass arrests and all this other stuff. Well, they have set up a tent city in the desert. And believe me, you don't want to leave that place. You want to stay where the water is for sure, because there isn't any for hundreds of miles in all directions. Anyway, they have a city set up and they are ready to take people in. Some people will be exiled, permanently removed from the United States for their actions. Some of them will be set for summary execution because of some of the things that they've done. Others, the ones that aren't as such totally nasty, will be simply put in the pokey. Now we've got, let's see, 8 um, prisons with large capacities, like 20,000 people,
Mhm.
that are vacant. They're not being used. They were shut down. Two of
Really?
those, two of them, that's 40,000 people, have been had the lights turned back on and a few other things in the last few days. There's Paul.
Hi there.
Hi
Okay.
there. We'll see how long you last this time.
Oh no. I went to my computer. I shut down a bunch of things. So
Oh, that's
um,
good. That makes a
it's
difference, doesn't it? Sometimes I wonder
well,
why I have a blurry picture and then I go, oh my God, I had all this stuff open. Maybe that's why.
right. Well, okay. It's one thing to take forever to get to a program, but it's another thing to keep dropping out and interrupting a program. So I
You're here to
wasn't going to come
stay.
back. I am here to stay. I wasn't going to come back if I couldn't come back and not cause hiccups and problems and things.
And
So,
then here you
Michael
are.
and Mike Lindell is going to come out with a bombshell? Do you think it's actually going to
Yes,
do anything this time?
yes, I think so. They have an informant, shall we say, who has the highest security clearance there is, from what I understand. He gets to see anything and everything, and he has all kinds of information to share on some people who are entirely corrupt.
Gee,
What, you mean like everybody?
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
pretty much.
All you got to do is just go across the border of Washington, D.C. with a pocket full of darts and just start throwing them. And my guess is every single one of them are going to stick in a bad guy. Everyone. I'm just saying.
Well, that's where the people that run things live. They got offices and or permanent residences there, and that's how come they can direct things so easily because they're so close to it.
Right.
Now the problem that they're going to come up with, either this week or next, is that all of their communications is going to be squished.
Really?
That's really going to happen, huh?
Well, the phones won't work. The internet won't work for them. They're just going to be unplugged as such. And I kind of like that idea.
Mm-hmm.
What
about Signal? Will that work?
What now?
There's an app out there that's called Signal, and they claim that you'll be able to text on that app even when everything else is down. I don't know if it's true or not.
No.
Well,
I
downloaded the app.
They're going through. They've gone through individual accounts, got the ID and whatever of all of those individual accounts, and it's going to hit the fan when Pelosi can't talk on the phone, or Mad Max, or AOC, or any of those other wonderful people we have there. It would be interesting I'll be listening to see whether I'm about 400 miles or so away. I'd be interested in seeing whether or not I can hear the screeching and hollering. Well, think about dragging Pelosi by her ankles out of her friggin' office.
I don't think they'll drag her out by her ankles, but they certainly will. She will be escorted, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if they'll be able to, because the DC police and Congress has exclusive jurisdiction over Washington, DC.
That's not even part of our country.
A military emergency, they don't, and that's what this is going to be.
Okay.
They can join with them if they'd like, but they better not get in the way or interfere in any way or shape or form. Not unless they want to get wiped out. I mean, who's crazy enough, just other than those students in China, to stand in front of and argue with a battle tank?
Oh, that one guy that did that took a lot of guts. I have to say that. I never forgot that. I still think about that. I don't know what you can do, but
he died about 20 minutes later when they run over him with a tank.
Did they really? They ran him over?
Tiananmen Square.
They killed almost 4,000 kids, students and whatnot in Tiananmen Square. Okay.
Yep.
That day, they killed another couple of thousand or so.
I didn't know that part.
These people. These are the same people that do the same things that our military, and because they had the wrong people in charge, ordered certain people to turn machine guns on veterans who are after their $20.
I remember that. I read about that, Drake. I did.
Yeah, I keep bringing that up. It's like, we didn't do anything. And yet the USS Liberty got turned into
hit by Israel. Yeah.
Well,
you're right.
How far does it have to go before you Then they killed a guy recently and told everybody that anybody that causes problems or interferes is going to get the same treatment. They beat him to death. I think they ought to find out who those guys were, and see whether or not a pavement roller can change their mind. You know, you start at your toes and slowly work your way up there.
That's
What?
almost, well, I don't know if that's worse or better than the wood chipper.
Well,
Well, the wood chipper's too fast. You want to be able to take it slow and easy. You know,
Oh my God. All right. I don't want to think about either one of those, but wow. Um,
yes.
they certainly have it coming though. Were you going to say something, Paul? Go ahead.
well, I was going to say that maybe um, um, hanging them from a willow tree.
A weeping
Is
willow?
Yeah, isn't that what they used to do? Yeah, you hang them from the willow tree just so their feet barely touch the ground, and as long as they continue to stand on their tiptoes, they're okay. But the tree is still providing this constant stress and pressure on the neck. But when they can no longer stand up, then that stress and pressure becomes lethal. So
I
just
think they
give them
call
some
it.
time to think about what they've done. Why
Yeah.
not?
Yeah. And
But I,
some of them, well, some of them we've heard have already been executed, but we don't have proof of that. Now, why? I want to know why we have to wait 2 years, more than 2 years for to see the tribunals. Do you have any information on that, Drake? Why does
On
it take
which
so long? They're
what?
saying that they're not going to do the tribunals until 2026. Why? Why?
No, that's not true. That's about the time it'll be ending.
Oh, good,
In
good,
other
good,
words,
good.
a guy, if you want to execute somebody via firearms, and you point a main battle tank's main gun at them, and fire it, there ain't much left, and you can do that pretty quick. Line them all up. We'll have a drive-by shooting. Boom, boom. You know,
Wow. Well,
hey,
did you hear the part about how the House and Senate had passed a debt limit of $4 trillion? Where are they going to get the money from? Because nobody will lend it to them now.
they
How's that going
print
to
it.
well,
work?
They
go
print
ahead,
it.
Paul.
I
They have
thought
the
they couldn't.
keys to the printing press.
I thought they couldn't do that anymore. I thought that was cut off.
It
Who's going to
was
stop them?
military.
It was cut off, Drake. Is that what the information you have?
The information I got is the military will take over on a martial law basis everything in D.C. You get out of
Good.
line, they have the authority to use deadly force anytime they feel like it. So if you screw up and you get blatant in front of the cops, give them a one finger salute, they can blow you away for it.
And this
Now,
isn't going to be the Capitol Police. This is going to be the military, correct?
yes, the military under martial law has the say on everything. And the thing about the Capitol Police, and I've had dealings with them, they're very reasonable people. They'll probably join forces with the Marines. I don't think that there will be any question on that. Um, how they handle what's coming is the question. Whether they're going to just see the the auspice is you can come with us peacefully, you know, just get up and leave everything sit where it's at, and they'll search them, make sure they ain't got a gun someplace or something else, and walk them out of there, and they go down to the paddy wagon. Now, if you'll check, you'll find that there was a certain general who put a line of paddy wagons about a mile and a half long out front of government buildings and whatnot in Washington D.C. because they thought they were going to arrest Wall Street. Okay, that was the thought. This time it is a lot more real. Um, I don't like the idea of some of this stuff, but it's something that's been needing to be done for a long time.
What part don't you like?
I just want to go throw hand grenades at the bad guys. That's all I want to do.
Blow up Washington, D.C. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Well, one of the things that the other thing was the de-dollarization, which I came under the auspices of Operation Sandman. Are you familiar with that, Drake?
Not really.
Well, the only information I have about it is that I just found, I didn't know I even had it, but it says there are 2 trillion U.S. treasuries will be dumped within 24 hours, with St. Petersburg leading the way. The U.S. dollar can potentially lose 50 to 90% of its value. That's Operation Sandman.
They've already got the gold-backed currency in place.
And ready to go. But nobody knows it. No, that's what's kind of crazy.
I just said it.
Pardon?
I just said it.
I know, but how many people do we have that watch our show? Well, at least some people. At least they'll be in the know. That's good.
Well, my confirmation comes from the people that handle the information at the Pentagon, at PSYOPs and a few other places, and these people have told me what they see as what they're typing up in the way of orders, procurements and logistics and whatnot, and it confirms everything I've been saying. The fun and games is about to start.
Oh, I've been waiting and waiting and waiting. It's beginning to wonder.
Your seatbelts. Are you ready, Paul?
It's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
Yes, it has. Very long time.
Well, we had a question in the chat is what point in the timeline do we have to go back to? Where was it actually
Where did you see
hijacked?
that? I missed that one.
You don't.
Oh, here it is. I see it. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me bring that
At what
up.
point in history was American culture hijacked to favor the cabal? Where would we need to go? Where would we need to backtrack to in order to resume what would have been the original cultural development path or timeline? And I'm thinking prior to the bankruptcy and the reorganization of 1933. We'd have to go before that.
It's got to
Well,
be.
what about 1871?
No, 1863 was when the United States
Well-
couldn't pay its bills and went into bankruptcy.
And that's when everything happened in 1871 to remedy that situation with,
That's when the Rothschilds took over our banking system.
yeah.
Told us thou shalt, and we didn't have any choice.
Right.
Yeah, but 1863 was when the country was insolvent and declared bankruptcy. That bankruptcy became collectible 70 years later in 1933. And that is when the bankers put in, well, basically the bankers took over everything.
They're dirty dealers. That's all there is to it.
They took
Well-
over everything back then.
Well, no, the dirty dealers were Britain because the Rothschilds through Britain funded the War of 1812 because they wanted to drive the country into bankruptcy.
We kicked their ass for their trouble.
Yeah, we did, but it still put us in debt
Yeah,
that we couldn't pay for.
We couldn't pay for the first one.
Well, that's been the story of every American's life. You're in a continuous state of being in debt for something. I mean, you can't get ahead, and it's planned that way.
Right. Well, I think we actually have to go back to the original Constitution because the original Constitution has a fatal flaw. Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17 gives Congress the ability to form a administrative government. It gave them the right to do that. And that was the clause that the Rothschilds exploited and created the de facto government. That's when it was created by the Rothschilds.
What year was that?
The original Constitution, Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17. It gave Congress the right to create a de facto government.
Yeah.
So they have had two parallel governments since 1933. And one interesting thing about the Trading with the Enemy Act, remember in 1917, the Trading with the Enemy Act, or the War Powers Act, was written that
Nah.
declared Germany an enemy?
Uh-huh.
Well, did you know that in 1933, they revisited the War Powers Act, and they changed Germans to United States citizens.
What?
We are now the enemies of the state, and we have been in a state of declared war since Lincoln. And that is why, because it's us versus them.
Well, if people
They
would unite, we would be able to take them out without any problem. But that hasn't been
Oh yeah,
happening.
we could kick their butts, but they've got big guns. They got
Yeah, they
lots
got
of
big
money,
guns.
and they got all the ammunition.
That's
And
why
they
it
now
has to be
have
the
all
military. Yeah.
right. So we're going to have to go back to the point. The Declaration of Independence doesn't say that if a government becomes abusive to your rights, protection, safety, and happiness, that you should run for office and try to change it from within. No, it is the people's right. It is their duty to overthrow such government and to
That's where
create
we're
a
at.
new one that does protect our interests. That's where we're going to have to go. We're going to have to dismantle the garbage and go back to something that works for us, not
I
them.
think what's going to happen, Paul, when Mike Lindell puts that information out, there's not going to be a whole lot they can do. It's going to really
Well,
cause.
what you got to
Well,
what
okay.
what you got to remember is the quantum banking system. It's already ready to go. All they got to do is flip the switch, and all of the major powers, in terms of central banks, etc., lose it. Just that
And
simple.
then they don't have a way to pay anybody anything. Isn't that true?
Yeah. They don't have any. They don't have any assets to pay anybody with. Put it that way.
Well, you've heard that Todd Callender has come up with
Oh yeah, he's great.
a discovery, right?
Uh,
That
Which
he
part?
looked for the oaths of office
Oh
and
yeah,
the bonds
and nobody
on
has
all
them.
these guys. They don't exist. They haven't had an oath of office filed for what, 8 years? Something like that.
How convenient, isn't it?
Well,
That's
yeah, of course, because if they don't have an oath, then they don't have a duty to uphold the oath, and they can't be tried for treason. They can just be sent to jail.
They're going to drag them by their ankles, screaming and shitting all over themselves out of their offices.
Well,
They're
I
not
think
gonna
we should
play with
back up some of those. We should back up some of those semi trucks that have the guillotines in them that were intended for us.
For
We
us.
should back those right up to the steps of the Capitol.
Well, they have to be adjudicated correctly. And the thing
That's
about
true.
all this is that it's you can talk about this, that, and the other thing, but if you don't take into consideration the logistics they've put together to deal with this situation, like you mentioned, timelines, they've already been there. Believe it or not, they know what they're doing. Some of these guys have been instructed by people I know that know a lot more than I do, but have the capability of causing someone to be able to self-destruct. Now, I want you to think about that very carefully.
Hmm.
Yeah. And
Oh,
if it
by
was
the
up to
way,
me,
hi to everybody in chat. Thanks for the shout out. I really appreciate it. I'm happy to be here.
We're happy to have you, Paul.
yeah,
Thank you. Thank you.
You're
Always
welcome.
another perspective.
It may not be my show, but I welcome you anyway. Got a doomsday plan in Australia. Ooh.
Oh yeah, what's that
Yeah.
all about? Let me
They've
go back to that. That
had
wasn't
doomsday plans for everybody
buddy.
in every place for the last 300 years. Since how
I
somebody
don't know
asked.
where it is. I can't find it right now, but I remember I saw that question. But historically, the fiat currencies have a lifespan of 27 years, but the USDA reserve currency has been in place for over 90 years, 40 of which were in the fiat currency. Ugh. And we actually collapsed the Russian economy in the 80s and 90s. We, Americans.
Their dollar's only worth a penny.
Their dollar or our dollar?
Their dollar.
Russians?
Yeah.
Their currency is
worth 1 penny.
Well, that's not. I don't know. That's not what I've heard. That's not what I've read. They are gold back. They're gold back now.
Nah, but
asset back. Do you know anything about that, Paul?
There are limitations on gold back currencies. One of those is a timeline, and each of the and I quote this loosely, new currencies is marked with a date. They stamp them so that you know where it starts and where it stops. The dollar is going to disappear in the near future. And I mean very near future.
Very near future. Yeah, that's what I'm getting.
Now, little people such as myself and others that don't have a lot of money, you can take what little you've got, your little wad down, and exchange it at the bank for gold back currency if you wish. That I do know. Rest of it, 30,000 U.S. troops here for over a year is not normal.
Yeah, let me put it up there so we can all see it.
Yeah.
Okay. Just as you said, we have 30,000 U.S. troops here for over a year, and that's in Australia. I think they're going to help Australia do what they need to do.
They are. No, you don't grab him by that. You grab him by this. He follow you around all day if you grab him by this and just squeeze a little bit. He follow you. He'd be walking on tippy toes and acting funny, but he'd go wherever you go. The deep state,
lead him around.
The deep state has had undue control for too long, and it has been being removed. Now, by removed, I mean totally negated. That
Good. I'm all in favor.
And people involved in it.
But now that's going to take down a lot of corporations that are, like Walmart's closing 30,000 stores, I read recently.
Wonder why that is.
I heard 200 some. There's 2,400 retailers that are scaling back this year.
I've got it written.
Was in Business Insider. Was 2,400 retailers were going to be scaling back and closing stores. Bed Bath and Beyond is no more,
right?
And I'm totally upset.
Starbucks
I'm totally upset.
Be here very much longer either. They're closing all their stores.
Who's?
Starbucks.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, they're a cabal run store too. They was charged way too much for their coffee. That's ridiculous. I wouldn't even buy coffee from them. Well,
I could grow the beans.
Yeah, exactly.
Grow them myself and grind them. Hire some little Asian chick with wooden shoes to grind the beans for me, and I could still wind up spending less than a venti from Starbucks.
Yeah. I can't believe what people pay every day that go there, almost every day, like their cup of coffee in the morning. Wow.
I can't even deal with it. I mean, there's so much acid in that stuff. It's crazy. It's absolutely
coffee
crazy
is kind of acidic.
How nasty.
Coffee is kind of acidic to begin with, but they do have some brands out there now that are lower acid, and acid's not good for us, that's for sure.
Yeah.
At least that's what they say. I should have tested them with a pH strip to be sure.
I like the fair grade or the fair trade organic French roast coffee. I get it a pound at a time. I get one every year without fail. And when I want a really decent cup of coffee, I pull that down out of the cupboard. I get it. one pound of that a year is about what I can afford. Otherwise, it's a Maxwell House, something like that. Hey, I came across a really, really, really interesting Telegram group this morning. No, actually, it was last night. There is a Telegram group. It's called Vault of Secrets. Have you ever heard of it?
Vault of the Secrets.
Vault of Secrets.
Vault of Secrets. Not for sure.
Has anyone in the chat heard of it and come across it? Really, really, really cool stuff.
Okay. I'll have to look it up. I get a lot of my information from Telegram, but I've got a very strange things happening in Telegram. And I don't know if it has anything to do with something I've done or whatever, but it's almost a form of censorship. I cannot copy and paste onto my Telegram site. I can't take a link and copy it and paste it in there anymore. I used to do it all the time. Now all of a sudden I can't. It won't. It's like the right click on my mouse doesn't even work. So I don't know what that's all about. I don't know. Maybe I should reload the program or something like that. But something's very strange. And then I've seen my numbers change drastically. I started posting some things about Trump, I guess. I don't know if that's what did it or not. But
Probably.
All of a sudden, I lose like 15 people. I mean, that's a lot all at once, within a very short period of time. I just
well, I don't know. The orange fever it's pretty serious. And that might have had something to do with it. I don't know, but
yeah, I don't know what it is.
You know what Telegram did to Dean Chambers, though?
No, what did it do?
Telegram locked him. They locked him right out of his group. They locked him right out of his group when he posted he posted something on Schwarzenegger. He posted the last post in that group was calling out Schwarzenegger for saying, "Screw your freedoms, take the shot."
Yeah. Well, he's been posting a lot in my Telegram. I'm wondering if that may have had something to do with it because they don't like him. So now maybe they don't like me either. I don't know, but
well, I don't know.
It's very strange. Okay. Cause I've never had that problem before. I was always copying and pasting stuff. Now I can't copy and paste anything. It won't let me. All I can do is share between one Telegram and another Telegram, or else I have to type out the whole link, which I don't have time to do.
Maybe I'll go into your Telegram group and see if I can paste something in there. Because I've got
Dean's been able to paste his
moderator.
He's been able to paste his stuff without any problem. It's just all of a sudden I can't. And so that's kind of weird. Yeah.
Yeah, I would try reloading it. Or if you still have that second computer, I would run it on that and try it from that.
I'll try that. I got two down computers right now that are not operating correctly. It's just lucky that I got this one still working. So anyway, I think I've been hacked. By the way, I would like to, let's take care of this question here. Hollywood writers are on strike. The UPS contract expires today. Yellow Roadways is no more. What is Yellow Roadways? I don't know what that is.
Yellow Roadway is a trucking company.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yellow Freight and Roadway.
Then you got several other trucking transport companies that are also gone.
Interesting. Wow.
And an answer to the question in the chat, it's just simply Vault of Secrets, one word. There are 12,000 or 13,000 subscribers.
Oh, wow.
And
She said
it's
a lot
huge.
less
There's
than that. Yeah.
There's 12,300 or 229 messages, and I'm downloading them all. I'm exporting the chat history.
Oh boy.
I now have 31 terabytes of drive space, and I'm creating I'm creating a digital archive for when things have been scrubbed.
Well, it's
I'm trying to
fortunate
get
that you're able to do that. I wish I had your knowledge on computers and all that kind of stuff, because when it goes down, I think I'm going down with it.
well when I I've been working with Roger Sales of the Radio Ranch, and we've been doing shows 6 days a week. And whoops, excuse me. Sorry about that. My little reminder, my little AI reminder is telling me that I'm supposed to do something right now before people get disconnected. Um,
Oh, well.
the Radio Ranch is from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern time, Monday through Saturday, and it's a show that Roger Sales does, and um, I am I handle all of the interactions and connections from the chat rooms and the video conferences. I connect 1,100 seats over multiple platforms, 6 days a week. And when I actually finish moving, I'm going to be setting up a 24/7 audio and video broadcast system. There will be fiber optic internet, 8 computers in the computer room. I already have them ready to go. And I will be sending feeds to homenetwork.tv,
You better
freedomnation.tv.
send some to
Uh,
me.
well, I'm also going to be doing a 24/7 Roku channel on a 20-hour rotation. So the program schedule will be changed once a week, and every 6 days, um, every single program will wind up at every time of the day. So because it'll shift 4 hours every day,
Alrighty then.
and we're also going to have a on-demand Roku channel. And
Are you being financed by somebody? How are you doing this?
I'm doing this on a shoestring. Oh my goodness! I've been buying computers on eBay and refurbing them for like the last 6 months, and I've gotten a little bit of help, a little bit of support from the Radio Ranch group. They've been awesome,
Mm-hmm.
and a little.
Well,
There was a Give Send Go that was running that kind of connected the dots a little bit, but we should be able to be roughly Republic Broadcasting Network size once I get there and set up house.
alrighty then. Well, that you'll have to keep us informed about that. Let's move back to the intel we're trying to provide here. Somebody's asking a question. Drake, what do you know about? Yeah. Well, you answer this one question, then we're going to take a little break. What do you know about the pipeline construction for natural gas being completed in West Virginia? I hear it's a go.
Yeah, it was approved as part of a deal where Manchin signed away his soul and sold out the country and shit, and got the pipeline.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, I think we're going to take a little break, and during the break, I want to introduce people. I'm going to show a little 1 or 2 minute video about the super patch, which you see running down along the bottom there. This is an amazing new technology. I've had the opportunity to try it. I've got some patches on, and it's amazing. I'm absolutely amazed at what's going on with that patch, or the number of patches. They got a bunch of different ones. One is for focus, one is for peace, one is for defend, which is an immune support. One is for flow, and they're not that expensive, really, and it's easy to try them for a very small amount. I am very, very impressed, and you will see amazing results. So let me share this one little, I guess you're not going to watch it, huh, Drake? Okay. Let me show you this. I'm going to show the patch for pain, because we do tend to have an older audience here. And this is amazing because it's drug-free, it's invasive-free, and it's just amazing when you find out how it works. So let me show you that. And I have to do a share screen because it's on YouTube. And I believe it's the Freedom Patch.
Shut off the overlay.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Today,
1 second. Hang on 1 second. Let me shut that off. I forget about that. It's kind of tricky running all of this stuff at once by yourself.
Don't I know it?
Yeah, I know. I found it out too. Anyway, I miss you for that, Paul. I'll have to tell you that. But anyway, okay, let me start it now. Okay.
we're going to talk about our Freedom Patch. This is the world's first and only drug-free, non-invasive, and non-electrical pain patch. To understand how the Freedom Patch works and delivers pain relief, we need to understand a little bit about the neuromatrix of pain and how it works. Every physical, emotional, and psychological function has a neural code that controls and regulates it. The various brain regions and signals that help manage pain are called the neuromatrix of pain. Sometimes these signals get stuck, damaged, or corrupted. This leads to poor pain management. Leading studies show that a well-functioning neuromatrix with synchronized signals can lead to reduced pain. So, how do we help the neuromatrix of pain work better? Easy. Just peel and apply the Freedom Patch to where we are feeling the pain. That could be our shoulder, neck, arm, leg, knee, back, or even hip. The Freedom Super Patch has this intricate and special pattern of ridges. It's like a QR code. We already know that our skin absorbs and transmits information from many different types of stimulation, including light, heat, and cold. With the Freedom Super Patch, the skin uses our sense of touch to absorb and transmit the information. When these ridges in the pattern come in contact with our skin, they stimulate skin sensors that generate and send a very complex signal to our brain that helps balance the neuromatrix of pain. A recent study shows the Freedom Patch helped significantly reduce pain for people within minutes. In fact, the study shows that the Freedom Patch helps with pain from arthritis, myofascial, musculoskeletal, and neuropathy. The Freedom Super Patch is a scientific breakthrough that is FDA registered and comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Just imagine less pain without drugs or related risks. The Freedom Patch is an amazing solution for immediate drug-free pain relief.
Now, one of the things that I think is so amazing about this, and it's so different than other products and so on, is you can get, excuse me, where did that go?
I don't know. Where did you go?
There. Sorry about that.
Where did we go?
You're back. We're back, aren't we? Okay.
Oh, we're back.
That was the Freedom Patch. Now they have patches for focus, which is something I use. Flow, which is something could be used with someone with autism. There's a peace patch, which is, if you're all hyped up, it calms you down. And then there's a victory, which is good for, it helps with sports performance. Anyway, regardless, if you go to the website, the gailofgaia.superpatch.com, you can get all this information, get all the research studies and the background behind it. It's amazing. I'm just thrilled to be able to even carry it. And you can get, like I said, you can get a pack of 4 for $15. So you can try it. Pretty cheap.
Wow, that's cheap.
That's cheap. Now you can get a pack of 28. They say that you should do whatever you're doing for 90 days. Okay, so 3 months, and then you're done, completely done. Because what happens is you have established that neural network matrix with the good stuff instead of the bad stuff. So it's definitely worth looking into. I've had some amazing results myself. So anyway, back on with the show. You're back, Drake.
Yeah.
You're back on.
Well, there's a question from Thought 320.
Okay, let me see. I got to get back to the chat there. Here's a good question. How long will communications be down? I've heard all kinds of different things.
Communications probably won't be as interrupted as people think. Maybe 2 or 3 days.
Okay. Will they?
What I've gotten.
Will they tell people ahead of time that this is going to happen, or what?
That depends on how things go down here. What we do, what we can accomplish. If we can get the things done that they've given me in the list, we may not be interrupted at all. That's how variant it is.
Interesting.
So, and then you got there's one from 320. How are these chats and Q&As reflected in the A's above? What's going on up top when this information all gets discussed down here? More information.
Are you reading a question that I missed, or what?
Yeah, there's a question. It's a question from Thought 320.
Okay, I'm scrolling. Okay.
Might be down a little ways. I don't know.
Well, I might have missed it, but you go ahead and read it. I didn't. Oh, here it is. I just found it.
Yeah. Okay.
This is it, right? How are these chats and Q&As reflected in the as above? What's going on up top when this information all gets discussed down here?
Well, the main gist of this is to show where we're at, what we're doing, and people like us seem to have quite a bit of influence on a lot of people. It's going to be hard without if somebody's got a tracking blocker, such as what I've got. You're not going to be able to see me get onto a website or something like that. So, if nip comes to tuck, the gist of it all is very simple. They're going to make an assessment as to where we're at and if we're ready to proceed. And from what I am seeing and all that I've found, we're in pretty good shape. Now, that depends on whether or not we get those things to happen that I discussed earlier. Okay?
Okay. I have something else here that says the mass media is beginning to tell the public Ukraine is losing, and territorial concessions are made to Russia, so the West can do no more.
Couldn't happen to a nicer bunch of guys.
Right. All right. Do you have any intel you'd like to share, Paul?
No, not really. Just that, the same rules apply. Keep track of your family. Keep track of your own local communications, maybe family radio service radios, handheld walkie-talkies. Make sure that you've got contingencies in place, that you have like a family meeting area if you ever get separated, where you can come back together. Make sure you've got food, make sure you've got water, and make sure who your neighbors are.
Boy, I'm in.
That's it. Well, when people are hungry, they do weird things.
Yep.
And if they know you got what they want, they're going to try and get it.
Well, I have a little food, but I don't have much else. So they'd probably be very disappointed if they're looking for money or things worth a lot of value.
Well,
But I do have food, at
you know,
least some.
well, a lot of people are saying stockpile gold and silver. Okay.
Yeah, with
Well,
what?
when nobody's interested in gold and nobody's interested in silver, what they're really looking for is a loaf of bread.
Yeah.
What is that silver going to do you?
Yeah. And when are those replicators going to come out?
Yeah.
That's
I
supposed
want
to be part of the
inquiring minds
reset.
want to know.
That's supposed to be part of the reset. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Cool. This is
So,
something. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
well, so play it by ear.
Oh,
Nobody, they won't tell us what time they're going to do this stuff, when, and all that. All they're going to do is do it, and I wish they'd hurry up. Yesterday would not have been soon enough for me.
Well, thank you, Julia, for the thought. Now, she's also asking you, Paul, about Radio Ranch. Is it on Rumble? Where can they find it? You're talking about. Are you still there, Paul? Hello. Okay, well, maybe not.
Anyway,
Maybe you stepped away. Okay, you can do that when you just have a picture up there. Okay. I also have this. Maybe you can explain what this might be about, Drake, because it says, flash, flash, flash. NATO orders Ukrainian troops and civilians to abandon the front lines and the battlefield and return to the cities to seek shelter as soon as possible. Something big is planned very soon. Will NATO intervene? Will peacekeeping forces enter Western Ukraine and freeze the war? Will NATO attack? That's on Telegram under Great Minds by Design. What? Go ahead. Are you cutting out, Paul? Is that what's going on? Are you there?
Yep. My network is being attacked. Give me you guys go ahead. I'm putting some port blocks in place.
Okay. Did you hear about the drone attacks in Moscow or against Moscow? What came of that? Do you know any?
nothing.
Nothing. Did they actually do any damage? Does that amounted to anything?
Oh, yeah, they did a bunch of damage, and they were very specific and very concise in the targeting. So it had a pretty awesome effect.
Hmm. Let's see what else we have here. Here's another one. Breaking update. NATO's not good guys, are they? They're bad guys. NATO is holding an emergency meeting with Ukraine. Because Zelensky is demanding that NATO protect cargo ships arriving and departing in its ports against Russia attacks. Zelensky just wants to draw NATO into the war. He may get what he wants. I don't think he's going to get what he wants. I really don't. And I don't think there are any real damage to we got about 20 minutes left, Drake. If
we do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm just looking at some of the other stuff I have. Do you have any more that you'd like to bring out? Or has anybody got any question?
Budweiser's got a good one for me.
Let me find it. Is it recent or?
What would you suggest we do when all this goes down? What activities would I suggest?
Oh, okay.
Well, my suggestions have been along the lines of prepping, having a place out of the way so that away from population centers, because you're going to have a bunch of hungry people, and they're going to be wanting your food. And if you're not armed and ready to kill a bunch of people, my suggestion is get out of the way.
Right. Am I back yet?
Yeah, you're back right now.
Yeah, okay. Apparently somebody didn't want us to be talking about preparing and taking care of your own home, your own family, and your own neighbors. Working together is the best way to deal with this. When we started talking about that, when we started talking about that, I started getting attacked and I had to move my VPN to another continent. So maybe it'll take them a little while to find me. I don't know.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I just
So-
cut some damage because my VPN, I couldn't continue it.
Oh,
The reason I discuss prepping is very simple. You should have food, water, and some kind of firearm. I recommend just on in general, 12 gauge shotgun and some kind of uh, better than 9 millimeter caliber pistol. And you can use a 22 Magnum. It works better than 9 mil. You can and or anything else. But the thing is, find a place out of the way. Uh, if you got a friend that's got a cabin and they don't mind you using it, take them up on it. You may
well,
need it.
you might as well meet up with your friend at the cabin.
Well, that too.
There's strength in numbers.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that reminds me of that song that we play all the time.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, cultivate close relationships with like-minded people, and everybody prepares to the best of their ability. And when things go weird, you just bring everything together, because you might have been able to get something that the other guy didn't, and he might
Yep.
have something you weren't able to find.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
People are going to find that they're going to wish that they knew their neighbors better than they do. I mean, it's very difficult in
Oh, yeah.
Around here, for example, you have I'm in an apartment building, which is not a very good place to be, but it's.
it
I hope
could
I'm-
be with an apartment building full of like-minded people.
Well, see, that's the hard part, because who knows? I know the person that lives right next to me on one side, and they're very nice people, but I don't know what they know, and sometimes to be able to discuss some of the things that we talk about, and when you talk about like-minded people, it's hard. It's kind of hard sometimes to find people that, just, don't just roll their eyes and, look funny, like you're crazy or something. But that's going to change real soon, I think, because they're going to find out. They're going to wish they had a conspiracy theory friend. I can't even say it.
Right. Well,
Well, as I get it, all the fun and games should be over with by September.
I've
Oh,
heard something to
geez.
that effect too. I read something to that effect. I hate to say this, but I'll believe it when I see it. We were
That's
supposed
where
to.
I'm at right now. I just keep my guns clean and oiled and loaded.
Now, have you heard anything about they keep saying we're supposed to get an increase in Social Security? Nobody has that I'm aware of.
All of that comes with a reset.
And nothing will happen until Mr. Fake is gone, right?
Um,
You don't mind talking about, don't you?
oh yeah, the guy whose ears changed.
Yeah. Whose mask you can see on the
Oh
next.
yeah.
Mm.
if most people think about it, you may be just fine right where you're at. You don't know. It's best to have some kind of way to defend yourself,
That's a
whatever that
problem.
may be. Some people prefer swords and things of that nature. Some people like machine guns. It varies.
Well, I would definitely say look for survival type books, and what you're going to be looking for is wilderness survival, shelter in place survival, vehicle survival,
They got two of
and
those survive in place.
What are you gonna do in an apartment building? Oh, come on! I'm on the second floor. I don't even have a yard at all. All we got is a stinky little patio, and pay
well,
ridiculous prices. but I can't-
sometimes shelter in place is just barricade the door and keep the lights out and stay quiet and hope they don't break the door down. If they don't canvass the whole building, they may miss you.
That's what the 12 gauge is for.
Yeah. Well, they're going to be looking for the low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
So
You
Well,
open
you're
the
familiar with those kinds of things, Drake. I'm not. You know, I don't.
I don't like look. I don't like the idea of death and destruction, but it may be coming, and the best thing you can do is to be prepared so that you know that you don't have to worry about goblins.
Jay thought said, "What defend from what goblins?" No, if people can't, what's going to happen is the supply lines are shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. There's a bunch of ships, I think, out off the coast of California that they got turned away, or barges or whatever they are, to deliver goods because they refused the treasury notes or something like that. They refused to take it. So, what we're anticipating is the possibility that once this happens and all the transportation is, all these things are down, people are going to run out of food and they're going to go looking for food. And unless that's taken care of by the military, because I heard that they were going to try to help people too by supplying
They
stuff.
are, but the thing is, when you go to the grocery and all the shelves are empty of everything that's edible or decent to eat or whatever, what do? Your belly still needs food.
be
So
watching the sales for your local grocery stores when they have like pantry stock up sales where you can get like
It's a
10
little
cans
late.
of tomato for $10.
Yeah.
You know, do it now.
yeah,
Rice, beans, you're going to get awfully bored, but you can live on it.
Well, that's what I did. I just got a little bit at a time, a little, or when they had a 2 for 1 or whatever, and then and I also go to food banks, to tell you the truth.
I just recently started going to the food bank here because I was kind of forced, but not really. I have been, let's see, when was the last time I went grocery shopping in an actual grocery store? I believe that was 4 months ago. Yeah, that was 4 months ago. And it was 6 months before that. And so what I've been doing is is I was going through my prep foods, looking for the oldest dates and stuff. And yeah, I've been eating some stuff that was out of date by a couple of years, but now I've rotated that stuff out of my survival food. So now I
Well,
can
when you go to the food banks, you're usually getting food that is very close to the expiration date, if not already expired. That's just the way it is. And you don't get to choose what you want. You take what you can get. But it certainly has helped fill my pantry a little bit. And
Oh, absolutely. No, I would have been sunk without my local food bank.
I did lose my my web page, my web, and I had to change all of my links because of that. I just couldn't afford it anymore, and I think pretty soon, I don't know, I might lose the newsletter too. Stuff is just getting too expensive, and everybody's raising the costs, and they're raising the cost on the. So I don't know how. If things don't change and they don't do something, it's not going to be good.
Okay, so do you have a backup of your website?
No, I don't got a backup of anything.
But you still own the domain, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd have to check with them. See, I don't have that. That's not my. Oh, that's a good idea. I just don't have the resources to keep paying that kind of stuff. I just don't have it. I just barely get enough to get by because my Social Security doesn't cover my rent, and then I have to food banks help me keep food, and it's not easy. And there's extra expenses that's getting. I like that, Drake. That's a good idea. I don't know how.
Think about it, and let me know, and I'll hook you up with the website.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a fairly well-run group that I'm with.
That's cool. Okay, that's good.
I understand ET has a lot of investigators, so the Need for Dark Days is ever
Yeah,
aren't necessary anymore. I
Okay.
hope so.
yeah, I hope
Okay.
so too. Plus the
All right.
idea of the replicators. That's the other thing that could be very
Yeah.
important. Go ahead, Paul.
Okay. After the show, let's you and I hang around, and let's see what. So what was it? The domain expired and you didn't renew the domain, or did your hosting account go down and you couldn't afford
Hey,
the host?
that's what happened. That's
The
right there.
hosting account went down because
Yeah,
right now the domain is redirecting to a um, it's
yeah.
redirecting to a different page.
Interesting.
So
I haven't done anything with that because I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to that kind of stuff. So anyway, um, Joe Blow has a question. When is the Iraq dinar going to revalue? I thought
A
they
good
had.
question.
I thought they had. Anyway, okay.
I
Yeah, I
keep
don't.
getting foreign currency in the mail, so we'll see
I,
what happens with it.
yeah, yeah. I definitely need an IT guy. There's no doubt about that, or gal, whoever knows how to do it. Gets to be just too much with everything else. So it wasn't my area of study or expertise by a long shot. So, in fact, when I went to school, they didn't even have computers in the lower grades, and in the colleges, the computer was so big that there's no way you could carry it around with you. Anyway, um, we got about 5 minutes. So, do you have anything, any parting remarks, Drake?
I don't have
No?
anything else other than get your stuff ready and put your
Expect
stuff together, and we'll go from there.
and expect some things to be happening within the next 2 months. Would that be fair to say? That's what we want to see it though, I guess.
I used to say 2 weeks a lot, and
Yeah, you got a
yeah, I
reputation
got
for
famous
2 weeks.
for that.
Well, it's like, people's expectations are not realistic. They should walk a mile in other
Will
shoes
Vietnam
sometimes.
go with it?
Oh, for the revaluing.
Well, what you have to understand is what all is involved, um, and the amount of stuff that's involved is tremendous. So um, I'll be with some people shortly that will be able to clarify some of this stuff. When I find out some things, we'll go from there.
okay.
Alrighty then. Julia, can you contact me at my email and just put something in the subject line, make it very large, and I'll give you some more information that I have anyway. And I know some people who are experts with that. In fact, the woman that I first told me about the super patches has been made presentations at Autism One and so on. So these things are amazing. They really are. So anyway, I guess, do you have anything you want to add, Paul?
Just figure out who's close to you. If there's some kind of a local group or an organization thing going on, or if there's a church near you, or a really good place to meet people is city council and school council meetings, because usually those people are there because they're not happy with the way things are working out, and there's common ground there. You know, uh, build relationships in your local area, prepare as best you can, and just watch your back and keep your head down.
And none of these, and none of this,
Yeah.
and you'll be a lot
Right.
better off. And don't,
Right.
and if they try to pull another one, be wise.
Oh yeah, for sure. But because we know how well the first one worked out, didn't we? Don't we? Oh yeah, the first one did exactly what it was intended to do.
Yeah. And, I don't know anybody who doesn't know somebody that's a friend or a relative or somebody they knew that has passed away.
Right.
And it's going to escalate even more. So, but I don't want to live on a negative note either.
And nobody in my family died in quite a while.
You haven't heard about anybody around you that, well,
Nope.
maybe nobody got the, you know what.
Yeah,
But
what.
a lot of people that I know are talking to me about that. So you may be unique in that regard, Drake.
Yeah.
Or you just haven't met the right person, or they just didn't tell you.
Well, I think that if everybody does their best to be what they know they can be, we'll be better off. Now, Gail, I am writing the final book in that series of books that I got that you happen to have on your website.
My website went down, so I don't have it anymore.
Oh boy. Well,
I mean, I probably have copies of the book somewhere, but I don't have the website because I couldn't afford it. Like I said, things are not doing very well.
let's put it this way. That offer I made, it stands. Okay. We'll get together and make that happen if you want. All right.
All right. That
Okay.
would be a good idea, actually.
If you didn't have the expense other than this live show, you could handle that pretty well, couldn't you?
Well, it's not just this live show. I have to pay Rumble, which I go on. Plus, I pay this platform. But there's over $200 worth of extras, almost $3 that I have, and everything's gone up. I mean, food's gone up, everything, and it just can't. You can only spread money so far, especially when it's not very much. So, but I have faith that things are going to change very soon.
They will.
Mhm.
And we'll get better. And we'll have everything that we need to do things, and it's not going to be an issue after a while.
Cool.
So, but if you have it in your heart to be able to help or donate in any way, I certainly very much appreciate it. So,
yeah, for sure.
And I have the links in the descriptions. And that being said, we can end the show unless anybody else has anything else
Gail?
to say. Yeah.
Hang around after you go offline. Great seeing everybody. Thanks for the invite.
Oh, thank you for coming, and thank you, Drake, always.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
See you next time.
We have found our way. It's a brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are. And like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless believers. Stronger than ever, never say never. Don't look back now, don't look back now. Rise up, stand with each other. We are sisters and brothers, finding our place and running the race. We'll take our chance and seize the moment. fate. Destiny awaits. We are all the actors in the stories we create. Hope will be our guide. We'll no longer hide. When we roll like thunder, feel the wonder from inside. This is the time we form the chorus. Left your voice for those before us. We can rely on what